In today's topic, I want us to talk as parents, and the question that I want us to discuss, or the question that I want to ask you is, are you raising your children or are you just providing for them? Welcome to my channel. My name is Esther Njau. A few months ago, I sat and asked myself this question, and I used to work a 7 to 5 job, and for you to make it to town at 7, you have to leave your house at around 6 a.m. in the morning so that you can beat the traffic and be in town by 7. And depending on where you come from, there are people that will have to leave the house at 5:30, and for a child who is below 10, I think they are not awake at that particular time. Or maybe if they are waking, it's just that they have just woken up, so they have not even known what is happening, and you yourself as a parent are ready to leave, so you leave them in the hands of a house girl. And I'm telling you this, let me give you a personal situation that happened to me. Now, I realized that I used to leave the house at 6 and come back and leave town at around 5:30, so I'd be at home around 7:30 depending on the traffic. Now, for those reasons, I sat down and asked myself, have I ever been there for these children, like really been there for them? Because I remember I left my son when he was 7 months old, left my daughter when she was 8 months old, and my last born son, I left him at 3 months. So I sat and wondered, the 3-month-old hata hajakaa chini, hata hajaanza kukula, by the way, hakuna tumefanya. So leaving this child under another person's care is not fair for them. And yes, I understand that they have to be fed, they have to be provided for, but at the end of the day, it's not fair for them to be left under the care of another person. Because even then, doctors will tell you that you need to breastfeed this child for 6 months before you can start giving them solid foods. And since now you're leaving and you have to pump milk which is not maybe enough for them, milk that is not fresh because they need to breastfeed and all those things pertaining motherhood. I know mothers can relate, especially working mothers can relate to this. Now, after I did that, it came to my realization that I'm not actually raising my children, but I'm just providing for them. Because if I come home, these children, most of them at that particular age, they are always playing in the afternoon wakitoka shule. By the time you come and pick them, or maybe the time they are leaving school, they have some few minutes that they are left to play outside. So I bet this child is tired, so by the time they get home, do their homework, take a shower, the next thing is that they'll just sleep. Utawakuta tu kwa viti wamelala. Maybe they waited for you and you never came, and at the end of they finally go to sleep and you never even saw them. And even if you come home and wake them up, you're not going to have a conversation because they are sleepy, you're tired, and all those things. Now, after I noted all those things, I came to a decision. Me and my husband, we just decided, you know what, I'm not going to work anymore. And I thought, my thinking, I'm going to be self-employed, and by being self-employed, I'm going to make time for my babies and make time for my family. So I'm here trying to figure out what business to do before I resign, and I came up with an idea. We planned everything, and yeah, it was time. And before I could go ahead and start that business, it hit me that this business that I was about to start is more demanding than the job I was trying to resign from. Because let me tell you something, if you start a business, it is you who has the idea, it is you who has the vision. So before even you decide to leave or to employ someone else to run that business, they are not going to do it like the way you yourself can do it, because it's you who has the idea of what you want in that shop in the first place. So it's not this person that is coming up. They are just there to help you, but they cannot offer the services that you yourself can offer. And so I just decided, even this self-employment is not going to work, because whatever I wanted to do would have demanded for me to be there at 7, which is more or less the same. Okay, actually it's the same as what I was doing, and I would have left there actually late than how I used to leave. So I was like, hii hata inanifunga kushinda venye nimefungwa pale. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to relax. I am just going to be with my children at the moment. No house helps, no what, just me, the babies, and my husband. And we are going to help each other where we can, because he works at night, I work during the day. So most of the times, if I'm not around, he's around. If he's not around, I am around. So we decided to actually do away with house helps. I've been without a house help for the past 4 months. Yeah, for the past 4 months, I've not had a house help. And imagine, I came to realize that you can actually manage. You can actually manage if you just plan. I'm not telling you to quit your job, but I just want you to ask yourself these questions. And the reason why I'm asking you whether you're raising your children or whether you're just providing for them, because in most cases we think that we are raising these children, but in reality we are just providing for them. And this is the reason why. You leave that house at 6 a.m, you come back at 7 p.m in the evening, and the only time you're going to spend with this child is maybe 30 to 1 hour. For those children who sleep early, like my kids go to sleep at 8, latest 8:30. I don't even tell them to go to bed. The moment they see a certain program start, they are like, it's time to go to bed. And we just pray, and they leave me in the sitting room and they go to bed. So if by the time you now try to change that child to not sleeping at that time and make them sleep at some other time, it's going to take time. And you've trained them to sleep at this particular time, because I like them to have enough sleep so that we don't have problems in the morning waking them up. So if this child has to go to sleep at latest 9, and you came at around 7:30, by the time you shower and all those things, itakuwa 8. So you're only going to spend 1 hour with this child, a sleepy child and a tired parent. I don't see that combination. There's nothing you can discuss with that child. There's nothing that can make sense. And most of the people work from Monday maybe to Saturday, and this child is at home on Saturday, the time that you could have spent with them. Maybe you're still working. Now this is what I needed to bring forth after giving you all that explanation. A child, you've been given 18 years with this child. 18 years that they are under you. You tell them what to do, you pay their fees, you feed them, and after that they are going to be independent human beings. I was listening to a sermon by Reverend Funke, and she said, when God gives you a child, that child is brought like a plain white paper. You write what you want to see in that child. And the fact that you cannot be writing these things when you're absent, you cannot be depositing these things in this child when you're not around. And there's one thing I need parents to understand. These 18 years that you have with this child, you deposit in them what will sustain them for the rest of their lives. You're not going to be with them in university when when they are working. Whatever they do after they leave your house, after they leave your home, it is not going to be under your control. But whatever you leave in them will help them to overcome or to go through or to navigate through whatever life is going to throw to them. But if they are there empty, and by the time they hit 18 is the time they are trying to figure out things on their own, this child is going to waste so much time. This child is going to make so many mistakes. This child is going to learn from maybe the wrong people. And you as a parent were there, your work was to teach and to train this child. The Bible says that you train up a child in the ways that they should go. And when they are old, they won't depart from that, whatever you taught them. Now, another thing I need you to understand is this. After this child has left, I had a story. Let me just cut that short and tell you something. I had a story of a parent who was saying or was giving an illustration of how we run after building houses. Maybe you want to build a house for these children. Maybe you want to buy a house for this child. And let me use the example that they used. You want to buy this house so that you can live a comfortable life and a happy life, you and your family, which is okay. but bring it closer and break it down to this. You get this house at a mortgage. Maybe you've bought this house for 10 million. For you to pay 10 million mortgage, maybe I'm not putting actual figures now, I'm just putting examples. You need to pay a certain amount of money per month for 10 years so that you can be the owner of that home. Now, let's say, for instance, let me give you an example with myself. My son is 7. Let's say today I start to pay a mortgage. After I'm done paying this mortgage, my son will be 17. I'll only be left with 1 year. 1 year of absence, because when you're in college and you're in university, you're not coming home every day. Unless, yeah, there are people who come home every day, but most cases, that child lives in hostels, so maybe you've rented a house for them or what. So at the end of the day, I'll be left with this house, and I've lost my son. Maybe I've lost my daughter. My daughter and my son are not way apart. They are 2 years apart. So when my son is 17, my daughter is 15. Almost living. Almost heading there where my son is. So who was I buying this house for? You thought you're buying this house for your children and they have already left. So you're left with this house, you and maybe your husband and maybe one of your child, because the older ones have already left, excuse me. And you're left wondering, what do I do with this house? What do I do? What's next? I've bought this house, I'm done paying for this house, but I was too busy. I never made time for my children. And now my children are out there empty, learning from people maybe who don't even have a clue of what even they are telling them. And that's why you see most of these children, you try to tell them things when they are old and they are like, ulikuwa wapi uniambie hizi vitu nikiwa mdogo. But the moment you tell a child something when they are young and you keep telling them as they grow, as they grow, you get deeper. When you're telling them do not steal when they are young, you're telling them, as they age you go, unaenda tu expand why they should not do this. And I remember there was a time my son, I had beaten my son for something that he has done. And he asked me after amelia na amenyamaza na kama ananiuliza, "Mom, kwa nini umenichapa hivyo juu hii makosa nimefanya hata si kubwa?" And I was like, I'm trying to train you and I'm trying to teach you and I'm trying to show you how to do the right thing right now when you're young. There'll come a time when I'll not be around, and the world out there does not know you as my son. The world out there knows you as Dylan or as who you are. So they'll deal with you as a stranger. They don't care whether they kill you or they don't kill you. I punish you and I punish you. Nikichunga, nisikugonge in a bad way. You understand? Like, there are parts I won't touch. But, ukienda huko nje, and I as he ages, I want to show him a video of mob justice. How people, mob justice, mtu akikuchapa na kuwekelanga mawe hata kwa kichwa. He doesn't care. He's there to kill you. He doesn't have, you're not connected in any way. But if I'm trying to restrain, I'm trying to correct you, I'm doing it out of love. So I'm beating you right now so I can protect you from mob justice. So I can protect you from all those other evil things. Because once you go out there, I'll not be there to pamper you or to beat you in a systematic way. Ati sitakugonga hapa nitakugonga. Dunia ijui hivyo, dunia itakugonga anywhere. And it might not be a physical war per se, but even as you go to your offices, as you do whatever you're going to end up doing in life, you need to make sure that this child is equipped. This child can respect people. This child knows when to talk to people and not to question. There are some things they shouldn't even question. This child knows how to be confident. This child knows they are right. You keep training them as they age. Unaenda tu kiongezea uzito. Akifika this age, the way I talk to my 4-year-old is not the way I talk to my 7-year-old. The conversations are different. And a friend of mine asked me, mnaongea aje na your son, like 2 grown-ups. And that is how we converse. Me, I don't talk to them at kababa kama me. No, we have real life conversations. We talk like we talk. Tunaongeanga tu, if you're not around, if you listen to us talking from a distance, you think I'm talking to a mature person, because we have conversations like that. Even when we are just driving somewhere, maswali yenye na zile vitu naenda nikimwambia kwa barabara, naenda nikimwambia zile vitu naweza ongelesha mtu mzima na kwambia like this is this. So you as a parent, you need to sit down and ask yourself, what am I doing to my child? Am I raising my children, or am I just providing for them? Because the moment you pay a house girl to take care of them, and you're not trying to balance your parenting roles and you as a mother and you as a provider, you're messing up a big time. You need, if you have to work, because some people you have to work. Yeah, I understand that not everybody can just decide, you know what, I'm not doing this thing anymore. Some people do. Some people leave high paying jobs. I've watched so many women leave high paying jobs and they decide, you know what, I'm just going to do this for my children. And it doesn't mean you're not going to ever work again, and it doesn't mean that you're never going to have a chance to start that business. It only means that you have prioritized your children and you want to give them the best, especially when they are young. You can start working when when they are a bit older and they can understand. Like, you can just sit down and tell them, you know what, this and this and this. But when you're telling them, you're just emphasizing on what you taught them when they are young. It's not like you're trying to introduce a topic. It's not like you're introducing something new to them. They already know. It's just that you're continuing to make sure that these things sticks in them like forever and ever. So if you don't get anything else from this video, understand that whatever the 18 years that you have with your child, you equip them with what will help them stand, or what will help them become a proper human being for the rest of your life. Because there comes a time when you will not be around. How will they behave? There comes a time when you will not be there to pamper them or to do all those things. How will they handle life? And most of the things that I teach my son, I don't repeat the same to my daughter. Actually, I see there was a time my son pointed, yani unaona venye mtu anafanyanga when he was young, I think he was 2, and venye nilifanya, my daughter has never pointed at me. Yeah, now my son taught my husband. My son taught my daughter, and my daughter has never ever, I've never seen my daughter pointing a finger at me or at anybody else. And I am not the one who taught that girl that you should not point at you should not go pointing at people. It is the older brother that taught them. But I had to do it to the brother so that he can teach. I keep telling my son, some things I teach you, I'm not going to repeat. I'm not going to tell them to your younger siblings. It is not your duty. You're the firstborn. When I tell you something, in the process of you having conversation with your sister and your baby brother, you tell them all those things, okay? And he does a good job. Sometimes he'll shout, but it is allowed. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you teach your first child most of these things, you don't need to keep on repeating. The simple things you don't need to keep on repeating, but there are some things you have to teach them because they are different kids with different characters. So as a parent, I hope this is going to be helpful to you. Understand that raising a child is not the same as providing for this child. You need to be there for this child. You need to equip them with what they need and what will help them stand and become responsible human beings, respectable people who respect other people, and people who treat other people like human beings. And when you do that, we are going to see a generation. Wacha sasa hizi generation ziko wenye wako sahi wadogo, utaona wakiturn around another generation and things are going to work perfectly. So I hope this has been helpful. God bless you so much for watching. Bye bye, and I hope to see you next week.